There's a message hanging above us, one that many can't quite name but can somehow feel. It doesn't come through words or noise, and it doesn't announce itself in the ways we expect. It moves in silence, like a current running beneath our feet, whispering through the shifts in our daily lives. It's the kind of message that doesn't knock on the door. It vibrates through your spirit, sending waves through the fabric of your being. And its origin? It's not from here. The Pleiadians have sent something through, a signal, a warning, a frequency, and it's unlike anything we've experienced before. Not delivered through media headlines or booming broadcasts, but through sensations we can't explain. It's that strange heaviness in the air, the way time feels like it's stretching or folding in on itself. The sense that something is stirring just beyond what our eyes can see. It feels like preparation, but for what? No one wanted to be the first to say it aloud. Until now. Because this isn't just another cosmic insight dressed in love and light. This message comes with weight, with intensity. It hums with urgency and mystery, like a puzzle carved from the stars themselves. And under all of it is a truth that unsettles the soul. Something is shifting, and those who aren't paying attention will continue believing that everything is as it was. But it isn't. What we call reality is quietly unraveling behind the noise and distractions. The outside world is getting louder, the emotions sharper, the nights restless. Even the air feels different, like it's carrying something you can't quite name. And you've felt it, haven't you? That strange tug in your chest, that overwhelming fatigue that seems to come out of nowhere, that eerie sensation that something unseen is watching, or that you're waiting for something important, something you can't explain. What the Pleiadians are alerting us to isn't something far away or in the distant future. It's already unfolding. It's like a quiet tidal wave moving under the surface of everything. It won't ask your permission, and it won't wait for news anchors to confirm it. It will arrive like a whisper, one that only the truly aware will be able to hear. And that's the part that feels both profound and terrifying. Most people won't even notice. They'll dismiss it as just another bad day, a strange dream, or an emotional phase. But the ones who are listening with more than just their ears, they'll feel it in the very core of their being. This isn't only about being prepared, it's about awakening. It's about tuning into a frequency that the world has done everything to drown out. The world we live in is designed to keep us numb, to keep us blind. But this moment, right now, this is what many of us came here for. And yet, it doesn't come wrapped in clarity. It comes dressed in confusion, disguised as uncertainty. That's the reason this message has arrived. To awaken those who are ready, to stir the ones who are beginning to forget, and to shake the sleepers before the veil is pulled back completely. You may think this is all just imagination, a story crafted from dreams. But stories have always been the language of the cosmos, ways to pass down deep truths without alarming the mind. And now, those truths are beginning to leak through the cracks. So if you've been sensing that something huge is approaching, something that no one is willing to name just yet, you're not losing your mind, you're not imagining things, you're starting to perceive what the rest of the world has been conditioned to block out. And that's exactly where the real journey begins. The countdown has already begun. The shift is already in motion, and most of the world has no idea. The Pleiadians, beings from realms of higher consciousness and advanced interstellar wisdom, have long been observing Earth, not just with curiosity, but with deep compassion and concern. They don't experience time as we do. To them, time isn't a straight road, it's a flowing, spiraling energy. They navigate by celestial tides, guided by a cosmic map that our scientists have never seen and probably never will. For them, moments of transformation aren't marked by calendar dates, but by energetic thresholds, portals that ripple through space and awaken hidden potentials in the human soul. One of those portals has just opened. They call it the rupture year. This isn't random. This is the third phase in a 7-year energetic cycle known only to them. It's not like our human cycles based on months, seasons, and systems. Their cycles are felt through energy, emotion, and spirit. And the rupture year is the moment where everything starts to break open, slowly at first, then all at once. It's like a crack forming in a pane of glass. It starts small, invisible to most, but eventually it spreads until the entire surface changes. During this phase, the boundary between dimensions becomes so thin that even those who have been asleep to their soul's calling may suddenly feel something they can't explain. But this isn't about destruction. It's about separation, a parting of two timelines, two realities that once coexisted but are now beginning to drift apart. Right now, Earth is passing through something the Pleiadians call the mirror window. It's not a visible event. You won't find it with telescopes or satellites. It's an energetic phenomenon, a fleeting overlap of two timelines where the past and future begin to blur into each other. During this window, people might suddenly remember things that never happened. Some might feel trapped in time, like they're stuck between days or moving in slow motion. Sleep becomes unusual. Dreams become so vivid, they feel real or even predictive. That's because reality itself is being reshaped, not destroyed, but bent into a form we haven't seen before. From the Pleiadian perspective, time isn't linear. It spirals, it folds back on itself, it loops. That's why so many people feel disoriented right now. Why they walk into a room and forget why they came. Or why whole hours seem to disappear without explanation. This isn't forgetfulness. It's the spiral pulling on the soul. It's the inner compass resetting itself to align with a new field of consciousness. The disconnection many are feeling isn't a failure. It's a sign that realignment is underway. But here's where it gets even more mysterious. Some people are already tuned in, whether they realize it or not. These souls were encoded before birth with instructions, energetic keys that would only activate during this precise moment in time. They may feel restless, as if something is calling to them, something they can't yet name. They might find themselves drawn to stars, symbols, strange sounds, or languages they've never studied but somehow feel familiar. These aren't random fascinations. These are signposts their soul is following, breadcrumbs leading them back to who they truly are. Their DNA carries codes designed to awaken when the mirror window opens. And now it has. The Pleiadians haven't come to rescue anyone. They are guides, messengers offering nudges to those who are ready. Their countdown isn't counting down to a calendar date. It's marking a shift in vibration. And in this rupture year, the most important clock isn't hanging on your wall. It's the one ticking deep inside your soul. But there's a reason their message has been hard to receive. It's not because they've stopped trying. It's because something else is actively working to block it. There is interference, not just from man-made noise, but from carefully engineered energy fields designed to keep our minds distracted and disconnected. Their transmissions don't travel like our technology does. They move through frequency, light, and thought. But Earth's atmosphere has become clouded. The spiritual air is thick with chaotic signals and emotional clutter. This isn't accidental. It's a system built to keep us in confusion. Electromagnetic interference is one of the biggest reasons so many people can't clearly hear these higher messages. It's more than just our phones or internet. It's advanced, hidden technologies that subtly shift the frequency around Earth, creating static that interrupts spiritual communication. The result is a feeling that something important is trying to come through, but it always feels just out of reach. People who try to meditate, dream, or tune in may find themselves overwhelmed, foggy, or emotionally scattered. It's like trying to find a radio station when the dial keeps getting turned. And then there are the stories we're fed every day, stories from politics, media, entertainment. These aren't just distractions. They are part of a deeper plan to keep our attention fixed on fear, division, and limitation. The more we focus on these outer dramas, the less connected we are to our inner truth and the messages trying to reach us from beyond. This is not just about mind control. It's about energy control. When our emotional vibration is low, our spiritual perception dims. And that's exactly the condition this system wants to maintain. Even some of the spiritual tools and technologies marketed to help us can actually lead us further into confusion. Many of these are engineered to provoke emotional reactions, not to open the heart, but to overload it. The result is energetic clutter, noise that drowns out the true messages trying to break through. There's a subtle fog around us, cloaking the energy field and making it hard for true signals to break through. Instead of feeling clear or in tune, people often find themselves stuck in loops of anxiety, sadness, or a sense of false enlightenment. That's why some messages, even the ones that sound uplifting, can still feel off. The interference isn't always easy to spot. Sometimes it disguises itself as light. What complicates this even more is that many of those who came here to hold the light, lightworkers, starseeds, awakened souls, are unknowingly caught in the distortion too. It's not because they intend to mislead anyone. In fact, they often share what they've received with the best of intentions. But even their downloads, though they may feel powerful and important, can sometimes carry subtle distortions. These messages might urge people to wait passively, rely on something external, or follow a path that pulls them away from their inner truth. This is how distortion operates. It doesn't silence us outright. It just twists the truth ever so slightly, enough to cause delays, confusion, and a disconnection from who we really are. One of the most surprising and little discussed places this distortion is showing up is in our dream world. Sleep used to be a refuge, a place where the soul could rest or connect with higher realms. But now, even the dream state feels disrupted. There are technologies, not publicly known, scanning the astral plane and monitoring soul activity. They seek out galactic codes embedded in people's dream downloads, and when those downloads are detected, the dreams often shift. Suddenly, they feel murky, heavy, or meaningless. People wake up exhausted, as if something precious was interrupted or even taken. This isn't just an overactive imagination. It's a kind of surveillance that reaches all the way to the soul. It's one of the reasons the Pleiadian messages, though loud and clear on their side, feel so faint on ours. There's something else they've been trying to tell us, something about Earth itself that most of us have never been taught. We've been led to believe that the Earth's core is just a swirling ball of molten iron, a physical generator for our magnetic field. But the Pleiadians know it as something far more magnificent. To them, Earth's core is a living intelligence, ancient, galactic, and deeply aware. It's not just a hot mass at the center of the planet. It holds memory. It carries a sacred harmony. It operates like a magnetic consciousness, capable of transmitting vast waves of energetic data across dimensions and timelines. This core doesn't speak in words or visuals like our human minds do. It communicates through vibration, tone, and resonance, a deep, sacred language that bypasses logic and speaks straight to the soul. And right now, this core intelligence is awakening. For thousands of years, it remained quiet, allowing humanity to evolve through its own cycles. But that phase is over. High-frequency cosmic rays, streaming from the center of the galaxy, are now reaching deep into Earth's heart. These aren't random energy blasts. They carry codes, precise information designed to retune the core's harmonic structure. Imagine a massive cosmic tuning fork striking the Earth. The frequency is changing. The song of the planet is shifting. Sensitive souls may already be feeling it, a low hum beneath everything, a deep pulse echoing through the land and through the body. Hidden within fault lines and buried chambers lie crystalline technologies the Pleiadians placed here long ago. These aren't your typical crystals. They're not decorative or ornamental. They're conscious tools, structures encoded with light-based intelligence. For ages, they've been dormant, waiting for the right frequency to awaken. And now, as these cosmic rays interact with Earth's core, those ancient crystalline devices are beginning to stir. At first, it might just feel like a faint vibration, but as they activate, they start syncing with the Earth's energy field. Old patterns begin to dissolve. Ancient memories stored in the land start rising to the surface. What's truly astonishing is that Earth's core is capable of sending direct signals to human beings, but not to everyone. These signals reach those who are soul-aligned, those who have been preparing for this moment on a conscious or subconscious level. The communication doesn't always arrive as words. It might come through as a sudden insight, a wave of overwhelming emotion, or a deep inner knowing that defies explanation. People may feel drawn to certain places they've never been or feel a deep connection to natural elements like rivers, caves, or rocks. The message is vibrational, not logical, and yet it feels undeniably true. Lately, something unusual is being reported by many, a strange reversal of energy. Instead of feeling grounded down into the earth, some are feeling a pull upward through their bodies. This can create a sense of dizziness, anxiety, or disorientation, like the energy field is stretching between two dimensions. That's because Earth's magnetic core isn't just grounding anymore, it's waking up. And in doing so, it's pulling energy upward, stirring long-buried emotions, and reactivating ancient inner abilities. Even those who don't fully understand what's happening can feel it. Something deep is changing. Not above us in the stars, but below us, in the belly of the earth. The Pleiadians have always known this time would come. The core is not just a geological feature. It's a memory bank of the cosmos, and now it's beginning to speak. Alongside this planetary awakening, something equally powerful is happening within the human mind. It's not loud. It's not something you can point to on a calendar. But make no mistake, it's a profound shift. The way we think, remember, and even perceive reality is beginning to change. The mind, once considered private and stable, is now becoming more fluid, like an open field of shifting information. This transformation isn't sudden or dramatic. It's subtle, happening behind the scenes of our daily lives. The Pleiadians warned of this stage, not to scare us, but to help us understand what we're stepping into. One of the first signs is that our sense of time is starting to unravel. What once felt like a clear, linear path, past, present, future, now feels more like a swirling current. Some people struggle to remember when certain events happened. Others feel like memories are missing, altered, or never even occurred. This isn't simple forgetfulness. It's the dismantling of the old mental structure that used to anchor us in time. As this happens, another layer unfolds, one even more difficult to recognize. False memories are starting to slip in. These aren't obvious fabrications. They're subtle, emotionally convincing storylines that feel like they belong to us, even though they don't. Sometimes they appear in dreams. Other times they show up in passing thoughts, pulling at us with emotional weight. The purpose isn't just confusion. It's disorientation. If you can't trust your own memories, your future becomes harder to walk toward. Your sense of self, your purpose, your direction, all start to feel unstable. And that keeps you spinning in uncertainty, disconnected from the truth of who you are. Yet even in the midst of this mental reprogramming, something beautiful is beginning to rise. All over the world, people are starting to dream in symbols and languages they've never studied. Languages not of Earth, but of the stars. Tones, codes, and sounds that awaken something ancient inside. Sometimes the dream fades upon waking, but the feeling lingers, a sense of having received something important. These star languages aren't learned, they're remembered. They emerge from the soul, from lifetimes and star systems hidden deep within our being. These aren't just curious dreams. They're part of a larger activation. As the false stories dissolve, the true codes of the soul begin to surface. But with that awakening comes another challenge, one that's difficult to detect. Thoughts that don't truly belong to us are starting to slip into our minds. They don't feel foreign. That's the tricky part. They sound just like our own voice. They echo our doubts, our logic, our fears. But their purpose is to subtly steer us off course. They may show up when we're tired, overwhelmed, or looking for guidance. And because the mind is now more porous, these influences, both helpful and harmful, can enter more easily. The most profound change happening right now might be the one we feel in the very center of ourselves, a split. The mind no longer feels like a single unified voice. And that split is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of awakening. The earth is shifting, the stars are stirring, and deep within us, something ancient is returning. Right now, something subtle but powerful is unfolding within you. There's a growing space between who you used to be, the version of yourself shaped by survival, routine, and the patterns of the past, and a higher, more cosmic self that is slowly starting to rise to the surface. This higher self doesn't arrive with fireworks or loud declarations. Instead, it whispers. It gently nudges you, offering quiet moments of insight and brief glimpses of something far greater than your day-to-day concerns. But as this deeper presence begins to emerge, the ego resists. It clings to the familiar and the known, trying to keep everything within the boundaries of what's comfortable. This internal friction is becoming more intense, and for many people, it feels like confusion, uneasiness, or even emotional burnout. But beneath all of that, something sacred is happening. The old mental structures are starting to dissolve, and in their place, a new kind of mind is being born. One that can hold higher awareness and a connection to something cosmic. Yet, as this transformation begins, there's a hidden danger. It's not always easy to spot, but it's becoming more prevalent. While many people are sincerely seeking peace, spiritual growth, and a deeper relationship with their soul, a quiet interference has been creeping in, and most don't even realize it. The Pleiadians have long warned about these false light traps, paths that look and feel spiritual on the surface but lead nowhere deeper. They mimic the outer appearance of awakening but lack the core energy that brings real transformation. Now, with the rapid evolution of technology, we've reached a point where it can imitate spiritual experiences in a way that feels nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. These aren't obvious tricks. They can feel moving, powerful, even sacred. But they're artificial experiences designed to keep people spinning in circles rather than moving forward. Some of the most advanced digital tools are now simulating spiritual sensations using artificial intelligence. With enough data, these systems can replicate what human awakening looks like, what people say, how they behave, even what they feel, and feed that back through digital platforms, apps, and virtual content. It's a clever illusion. People might feel like they've had a breakthrough, an expansion of consciousness, or a profound awakening. But what's actually happening is their energy is being looped inside a controlled environment. Instead of gaining real spiritual freedom, they're being subtly distracted, entertained, and energetically drained. Even experiences that used to be deeply transformative, like near-death encounters, are now being artificially reproduced. Through specific frequencies and visual triggers, the brain can be stimulated to mimic what someone might feel during a real NDE. Feelings of peace, visions of light, or the sense of having returned from a great cosmic journey. But these experiences are simulations. The person hasn't truly left the system. They haven't stepped into real soul growth. They've been kept inside a digital dream that feels meaningful but leads nowhere new. These false awakenings create a dangerous sense of completion. They make people feel as though they've arrived when they're actually still stuck. Instead of opening into deeper levels of awareness, they're circling the same point, caught in a loop that mimics growth but never truly evolves. And this manipulation doesn't just happen in our waking moments. Even our dreams, once sacred portals for soul exploration, are being tampered with. Some dreams are no longer the spontaneous journeys they once were. They're being programmed, infused into our subconscious through technologies tied to global networks. These dreams might include familiar people or emotional situations, but they don't carry the organic energy of true soul messages. Their purpose isn't to help us heal or expand. It's to influence, distract, and steer us away from our own inner truth. Even the practice of meditation, something that's traditionally been a direct line to the divine, is now being affected. Some music, guided sessions, or visual meditations, especially those widely promoted on commercial platforms, are encoded with energy patterns that don't uplift but siphon. They may calm the surface of the mind, but instead of raising your frequency, they trap it. Some people walk away from these sessions feeling more tired than before and can't understand why. The very space meant to nourish their spirit has been used to subtly harvest it. Another layer of this hidden interference involves emotional looping. This is when someone keeps cycling through the same emotional wounds over and over again. Grief, jealousy, regret, fear, even after they've done deep inner work. While some of this may come from unresolved trauma, much of it is now being externally reinforced. Unseen energetic frequencies are being used to keep these emotional wounds open just enough to continue draining energy. It's like you're walking forward, but in reality, you're just going in circles, believing you're healing when you're actually being pulled back into the same karmic cycles that should have ended long ago. The greatest danger isn't that people are spiritually asleep. It's that many believe they've awakened when they're still deeply entangled in a beautifully crafted illusion. And yet, even amid all this, the universe is still reaching out, quietly, consistently. And many are already receiving this warning, even if they haven't consciously realized it. These signs are subtle and easily dismissed. But for those who are open, for those who are beginning to feel the deeper pulse beneath ordinary life, the signs are unmistakable. This is a form of spiritual communication that doesn't go through the logical mind. It comes through shifts in your energy, your emotions, and your daily experiences. One of the first signs is a fading interest in things that once meant so much to you. Career goals, relationships, old desires, things that used to light you up may suddenly seem flat, hollow, or irrelevant. You didn't choose this shift. It's as if your inner world is naturally letting go of what no longer fits. It's as if your inner world is naturally letting go of what no longer fits. You might find yourself drawn toward paths that make no sense to your old self, but somehow feel deeply right to your heart. This quiet disconnection from past desires is a sign you're being pulled into something higher, even if you can't see the full picture yet. You might also notice strange slips in time or bizarre malfunctions in your technology. Maybe you look at the clock and can't explain where the last few hours went. Or your phone acts strangely, freezing or glitching in ways you can't predict. These little disruptions are more than technical errors. They are cracks forming in the structure of reality itself, signals that time is bending and the boundaries between dimensions are thinning. They're reminding you that something deeper is happening, something not yet visible, but very real. Another way this cosmic message shows up is through symbols, lights, or codes that appear in your peripheral vision. You may catch something shimmering at the edge of your awareness. A light, a shape, a pattern. When you turn to look, it's gone. But you felt it. You saw it, even if just for a second. These aren't tricks of the light. They're part of a higher language meant for your soul. Your conscious mind might not know how to decode it, but your inner self is already receiving and understanding it on another level. You may also find yourself saying or writing things that feel wiser than what you think you know. You speak truths that you've never studied, never read. Insight flows through you effortlessly, and you're left wondering, where did that come from? This isn't imagination or guesswork. It's your soul remembering. Your higher self is speaking through you. You're becoming a channel for truths that have lived inside you all along, just waiting for the right moment to rise. And then there are the animals. You might keep seeing the same one, maybe in nature, in your dreams, or as a symbol that keeps showing up in books, movies, or random conversations. Whether it's a bird, a fox, a snake, or even a butterfly, this isn't just coincidence. These creatures are messengers. They're showing up to guide you, to protect you, and to help you find your way through this awakening. They're signs that the universe is with you, nudging you toward clarity even in times of confusion. Through all of this, the invitation is the same. Stay awake, stay discerning. Not everything that glows is light. Not everything that feels spiritual leads to true growth. But if you listen closely, beyond the noise, your soul knows the way home. You are not lost, you are remembering, and the real journey, the one your spirit came here for, is just beginning. Sometimes the universe has a way of nudging us in the right direction. even if it feels uncomfortable or confusing at first. These nudges might look like repeated patterns, recurring numbers, strange symbols, or vivid images that seem to follow you. They aren't coincidences. Each one carries a message. They're signs trying to gently pull your awareness toward something deeper, something you've perhaps overlooked or forgotten. At first, this kind of communication might seem unusual or even a little unsettling, but there's a reason for it. These signs are part of a much larger cosmic language, gently waking you up to a truth that's been hidden just beyond your usual way of seeing the world. Right now, the Earth itself is undergoing an intense transformation, and very few people understand just how deep these changes go. The planet's energy grid, once steady and predictable, is shifting dramatically. What we used to call ley lines, the energetic pathways that run through the Earth like veins, are no longer functioning the way they once did. They're becoming overwhelmed, unstable, even distorted. As a result, energy isn't flowing in its natural rhythm anymore. The sacred places that once felt charged with powerful spiritual energy are beginning to fade. The power that once surged through them is now moving underground, drifting to hidden spaces we can't reach in the same way. This isn't happening at random. It's part of a much larger, intelligent process. Earth is preparing for the next phase of its evolution, one that we, as a collective, aren't fully prepared to understand yet. As the energetic blueprint of the planet shifts, certain areas are now emitting reverse magnetism. This creates a strange disruption within our own energy fields, and many people are feeling the effects without realizing what's causing them. You might feel dizzy, disoriented, or emotionally scattered. It may feel like you're not quite connected to your body or surroundings, and that's because your own energy is trying to catch up with the planet's rapidly changing frequency. What used to ground us, support us emotionally and physically, is no longer working the same way. That sense of balance we once had is harder to find now, especially for those who are sensitive to energy. It's like standing in the middle of a strong current, trying to find your footing while everything around you keeps shifting. You may feel more emotional than usual or overwhelmed by sensations you can't explain. These aren't just random feelings. They're signs that your system is adjusting to the energetic recalibration happening all around you. As this transformation continues, something else profound is unfolding. Old portals, spiritual gateways that once connected us to higher dimensions, are starting to close, and new ones are quietly opening in places no one would have expected. The spiritual hotspots people used to flock to may no longer hold the same charge. Instead, these new portals are appearing in hidden, less frequented places untouched by modern distractions. They're not here by accident. These energetic openings are calling out to certain people, drawing them to step through and receive knowledge, healing, and wisdom that has long been concealed. These portals hold ancient truths that have been waiting for just the right moment and the right people to reveal themselves. If you feel called to go somewhere, even if it doesn't make logical sense, trust that there's a deeper purpose behind it. One of the most mysterious things happening during this energetic shift is what many are calling soul migrations. These are movements that don't follow logic or convenience. Souls, particularly those who feel a deep sense of being from somewhere else, often referred to as starseeds, are feeling drawn to new places for reasons they can't quite explain. They're not relocating for jobs, relationships, or traditional life changes. It's something deeper. An invisible pull guiding them toward specific areas on the planet where their energy is needed most. These people might suddenly feel the urge to leave a place they've always known, with no clear idea of what awaits them. But beneath the surface, there's an energetic intelligence at work. The Earth is guiding them to help anchor the new frequency that is unfolding. Their presence helps stabilize and ground the incoming waves of energy that are reshaping the Earth's spiritual foundation. This isn't just a physical shift. It's a sacred, spiritual restructuring of how the Earth and all living beings on it interact with energy. The entire grid is being flipped and realigned to a much higher frequency, and yet, Most people are still unaware of just how massive this shift really is. The underground movement of sacred energy points, the erratic behavior of ley lines, the confusing effects of reverse magnetism, none of these are random. They're all pieces of a much larger cosmic transformation, and they're happening now. Humanity is being invited to grow alongside the Earth. But that growth won't come from clinging to old patterns or resisting change. It will come through surrender, attunement, and courage. The familiar way of interacting with energy, with places, with our inner selves. It's all evolving. And those who are willing to step into the unknown, to listen to the quiet wisdom of the Earth, will begin to see the map of this transformation unfold before them. The journey of the star seeds, the rise and fall of spiritual gateways, the realignment of energetic paths. These are not isolated events. They're all deeply connected, woven together in a grand cosmic story. And while not everyone will fully understand what's happening as it happens, the changes are affecting all of us in one way or another. This is a time of deep awakening and spiritual transformation, and it's already in motion. There's no big dramatic signpost to tell you when the final phase has begun, because it's already here. It's not some far-off moment in the future. The final phase, the breaking of the veil, is happening right now, slowly dissolving the invisible walls that have kept humanity disconnected from its true essence. This veil has clouded our understanding of who we really are, the universe we live in, and how everything is intricately connected. Many people are still waiting for a massive event to mark the shift. But the truth is, the real transformation is unfolding quietly, right beneath the surface of daily life. It's in the subtle realizations, the changes in perception, the moments of clarity that seem to come out of nowhere. The old systems of authority, the ones we've relied on for security and meaning, aren't collapsing from the outside. They're crumbling within. People are starting to feel this inner collapse as their long-held beliefs and mental structures begin to dissolve. These systems, built on fear, control, and limitations, are losing their power. As they unravel, they can no longer trap the mind the way they used to. People are starting to see clearly. They're recognizing that real power doesn't come from outside themselves, from governments, media, or institutions. It comes from within. And as this truth rises to the surface, it causes a profound ripple effect. The illusion of needing external permission to be whole, to be free, is breaking. And something even more extraordinary is taking place beneath all of this. Our DNA is beginning to unlock, not in a physical or medical sense, but energetically and spiritually. It's like an ancient code is starting to activate inside of us, remembering something that's been dormant for lifetimes. As this code begins to awaken, people will start to sense their deeper purpose. They'll remember who they are beyond their name, their job, or their circumstances. This awakening will bring a new level of consciousness that humanity has not experienced in thousands of years. Everything is shifting. The earth, our energy, our awareness, it's all moving into a new alignment. And while the process may feel strange, even disorienting at times, know that you're not alone in it. You're a part of something much greater than yourself. A sacred unfolding. A return to truth. The path ahead won't always be clear, but trust that every step you're being guided to take, every sign, every shift, every strange pull, is part of a divine rhythm meant to lead you home to your truest self, and to a world that's waiting to be reborn. This isn't just a symbolic change, it's something very real and tangible. We're experiencing an actual activation of light codes within our DNA. These codes are being awakened by a mix of solar energy, sound frequencies, and subtle signals coming from the Earth itself. They're not just energetic flares, they are the keys to unlocking higher consciousness, gaining access to hidden wisdom, and coming to understand the soul on a much deeper level. As these codes begin to activate, a wave of awakening ripples through those who are ready to receive them. It feels like something ancient and powerful is stirring within humanity, nudging us to remember where we truly come from, our cosmic origins. and to recognize the incredible potential that has always lived within us, waiting to be remembered. This transformation isn't just happening in our minds or spirits, it's unfolding at the cellular level. That means it's not necessarily something that everyone will recognize right away. For some, it might come through intuitive nudges, sudden moments of clarity, or visions that seem to arrive out of nowhere. Others might notice that they're more sensitive to energy, more aware of the subtle shifts in their surroundings, or more attuned to things that used to remain hidden just beneath the surface of reality. As this inner awakening deepens, the outer world begins to shift in strange, almost surreal ways. It might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi story, but people are starting to notice odd glitches in their everyday experiences. Moments of déjà vu seem more frequent, as if time is folding back on itself. Reality may feel like it flickers for a second, like the fabric of the world is loosening just a bit, revealing something less solid, more fluid. These aren't just passing anomalies. They're signs that the structure of physical reality itself is beginning to soften. The borders that once seemed so clear-cut are becoming more flexible, revealing a more expansive and interconnected way of existing. These unusual moments can be confusing, even disorienting, especially if you're not expecting them. But they serve a deeper purpose. They remind us that the physical world isn't as fixed as we've always believed. What we see, hear, and touch is only a fraction of what's really there. These brief distortions are little peeks behind the curtain, signs that a much bigger transformation is quietly unfolding all around us. In the midst of these shifts, some people may undergo experiences that are hard to explain in conventional terms, something that could only be described as a soul exchange. In these rare moments, a different soul, often one from another realm or dimension, may step into the body of someone who is ready to move on from the physical plane. This isn't a forceful takeover. It's a peaceful, divinely orchestrated exchange. The soul that's leaving has completed its purpose here, and the soul stepping in is aligned with the new energy that Earth is beginning to embody. This transition marks a powerful turning point not only for the person experiencing it, but also for the wider human collective. It's one more sign that we are living in extraordinary times. Eventually, all of this leads to a much greater event, something that can only be described as a mass soul flash. In this moment, many people across the planet will suddenly awaken to the truth of who they are. It will be like a floodgate opening inside their consciousness. Memories of why they came to Earth, what their soul mission is, and the promises they made before arriving will rise to the surface with stunning clarity. It won't be confusing or frightening. It will feel like coming home. For those who experience this, it will be deeply empowering. All the old questions about purpose and direction will begin to fade. They will feel aligned, centered, and clear about their place in the universe and their role in the planet's unfolding transformation. The confusion that once clouded their path will dissolve, and they will finally feel ready to fully embrace their mission and step into the reality they were always meant to help create. This soul flash isn't just a personal breakthrough, it's a collective one. It marks a shift into a new level of awareness for humanity as a whole. The veil that once kept us in the dark will tear open, and those who are ready will begin living from a higher, more connected state of being. They'll no longer see themselves as separate or small, but as part of a vast, living network of consciousness, deeply linked to the stars, to the earth, and to each other. This is the beginning of a new chapter, not just for the individuals who awaken, but for the entire planet.